الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. So today inshallah ta'ala we'll continue discussing which is Hadith Al-Hadi wa Thalathun, which is the 31st Hadith in this series of Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala. And we have discussed in the past two sessions this particular Hadith, and today inshallah ta'ala hopefully that we're able to complete the benefits that can be taken from the Hadith. So in previous session that we had mentioned the Hadith, and also we have covered regarding takhrij of the Hadith, meaning concerned that what are the sources of the Hadith, and also what's the aqwal of the ulama regarding the grading of this Hadith. So now rahimahullah ta'ala, when he mentioned this Hadith, that he said the Hadith is Hasan. So he gave the grading of the Hadith being Hasan, and we discussed regarding concern the ulama, especially the ulama of the past, that they took a different position regarding this particular Hadith, with all the Hadith to be daif rather than the Hadith being Hasan as taken by Nawawi. Then also we discuss, and as you might find that in Ilm al-Hadith, that regarding grading of Hadith, that the ulama, what have been established is that Hadith is into three categories. So regarding the grading of Hadith, that they are in three categories. The first, that being that of Hadith al-Sahih, then second, Hadith al-Hasan, and the third, Hadith al-Daif. With the second, where you find that the first two, that they refer to as Hadith al-Maqbul, so Hadith al-Sahih and Hadith al-Hasan, that they are considered to be Hadith al-Maqbul. And we'll cover regarding Hadith al-Maqbul, that they Hadith that are generally, that they can use, that they are used as a proof. That Hadith al-Maqbul, what about the grading of Sahih or Hasan, they are said to be Hadith that are can be used as a proof. But then we have the third, which is Hadith al-Daif, which to be discussed regarding aqwal of the ulama regarding Hadith al-Daif, as to when they are appropriate or when they can be used and when they cannot be used. But as for Hadith al-Hasan, as he mentioned here, that you might find that a lot of discussion between the ulama of Hadith regarding a grading on Hadith, that it lies within this realm of Hadith that is said to be Hasan. Based upon Hasan is in between Sahih and Daif. So and Hadith Hasan, that they have two types, they mention two types, Hadith Hasan li dhatihi wal Hadith Hasan li ghayri. And Hadith Hasan li ghayrihi is saying the Hadith is Daif. So the Hadith is really Daif, but then with other Hadith, it gives other Hadith that are similar, will give strength to it and elevate the Hadith to Hadith Hasan li ghayri. So the Hadith, it by itself is considered to be in most part, or we consider to be maybe Daif or Daif, but then slight weakness, but then with other sources, it gives strength. So you find this area regarding Hadith bin Hasan, you'll find a lot of discussion at times. Some all Hadith to be Hasan, and at times others may all Hadith to be Daif. So we discuss after this, we discuss concerning Al-Rawi al-Hadith, who the Sahabi, who is mentioned here. So as we mentioned, as we stated before, that now that the author, rahimahullah ta'ala, that whenever he mentioned a Sahabi for the first time, that he would mention his full name. So he mentioned his full name, and we mentioned something about the Sahabi, so as to be familiar with the Sahaba. Then we discuss what is mentioned by the ulama regarding the value of this Hadith, or how they see this Hadith, the importance of this Hadith. Then went into discussing last week regarding how some of the benefits can be taken from the Hadith, so the meaning of the Hadith and what can be taken from the Hadith. So today inshallah ta'ala we're just going to somewhat try to discuss what they refer to as concerning the fawaid of the Hadith, so the fawaid that can be taken from the Hadith. So as we had stated in the last lesson, that with this Hadith, that it revolves around the matter regarding Zuhd. So Zuhd, regarding concerning matter that they said that Zuhd, that so Zuhd, in as I mentioned, is had fi dunya. So Zuhd in this matter of the dunya, and we mentioned concerning Zuhd in the dunya, where a person kind of somewhat is Zuhd is within those things which is halal, and as for thing which is haram, then it's completely the person avoid those things. But Zuhd fi dunya, where a person he takes what he needs of the dunya, without per se going into what he wants. So taking on what we need and not taking what we want of the dunya. So that's Zuhd. And that's concerning matters regarding Zuhd. And then he mentioned the second matter of Zuhd. So the hadith regarding concerning other person to balance themselves in this dunya and the approach that they should have in this dunya. If they want of the ways of seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love, that they have Zuhd fi dunya. And the second Zuhd fi ma inda nas. And also for the person to have Zuhd, what is with the people. So regarding concerning the things that people may like, or those things with the people, that you kind of somewhat try to be moderate in how you approach those things. And take also deal with the people in a way which is moderate. So we kind of somewhat try to mention a few points regarding Zuhd, regarding ma fi aydin nas. So for the person somewhat to have this approach regarding Zuhd, in what? With the people, then and so as to gain the love of the people. So the person wants to have a certain approach regarding the people, so as to gain the love of the people, and not to compete with the people regarding things of the dunya. So not to compete with the people regarding things of the dunya, as the people that may bring about a negative response from the people. So he mentioned regarding concern Zuhd fi dunya. So it could be said regarding Zuhd fima inda nas, regarding what is with the people, is regarding those things again which is halal wal mubah. So those things that are with the people, that the people possess or the people like, that the Zuhd that you should practice amongst the people is within those things which is halal and mubah. So those things that the people may gravitate towards and things which is haram and compete, then for the Muslim, he avoids this. But as for the thing which is halal, also the thing which is halal and mubah, then a person also, he tries to navigate with the people, navigate himself in these matters. So we can say it can be broken down into the following areas regarding Zuhd fima inda nas. So kind of somewhat for the person, kind of somewhat try to abstain himself from certain things that the people may gravitate towards. Of those things, al-riyasa wal-wadha'if. So of those first things regarding Zuhd, ma inda nas, those things that are with the people, that the person try to avoid to the best of his ability regarding things of riyasa. And also wadha'if, mansib, that the person having position. Riyasa might say the person having authority, being in charge, leadership. So regarding those in a person, try to avoid those things to the best of ability. Can you find the people, they compete in this matter. So regarding authority, leadership, is something you find the people that they will compete in these matters, and at times the people do it, they'll go to any extreme or to any extent. So to either to achieve it or to maintain it for those who have it, that they'll go to any means to achieve it or to maintain it. So regarding concerning Zuhd fi dunya, of those things the people can somewhat have people compete and fight for, is things regarding riyasa. So for the person to if possible, best try to avoid this, riyasa. And also wadha'if, certain type of job titles, position, that the person also, or occupation, that was so the person regarding those things to try to avoid certain type of things, was a riyasa, the person being in charge of this, and the person being in charge of that, and the person is this of that thing. So being in charge, being the one who's the person in charge, for the person not to compete with the people on those matters. The next of those things that we find that at times, we said people go to any extent to achieve these things, even regarding concern, even in job roles and in job roles. Now, with a person that know that, especially regarding wadha'if, the person that taking a position that you're not qualified for, and there's others who are more qualified. So there's something that you are not qualified at all, and there's others that are qualified. Now, then let it be for those that are qualified. So regarding concern of wadha'if, so not to take a position that you're not qualified for, and requires that a person may have may require a special skill to carry out that task or that job. Then the person should be careful regarding taking to these things when we're not qualified. The second of those things that they mentions ash-shuhra, which is fame, person achieving or gaining fame. So regarding concern that of those things that you have to try to avoid regarding with the people, as people compete in these things and treat and will go to a certain extent regarding these things that matter regarding ash-shuhra. So for instance, a person not liking to be, as they say, the person who's famous, the person who's in the limelight. So try to avoid these things. So you find that all the matter salaf, especially concerning people of ilm, that they always try to avoid this. Some may achieve this or may gain this, not that they went out seeking it and doing things to gain it. It came, as they said, came naturally, as they say. So the person was just doing his, do what he needs to do, but qadarullah ma sha, he became famous. But it wasn't something that he went out seeking. It came. So regarding concerning that those areas regarding, if you want the people to love you, understand, not to try to compete and force this, try to force yourself to fame. So not to force yourself to fame. And we found that also, so the person can somewhat to be mindful of this, as these things can be, these things can lead to the person's destruction. So you find that even when it's among concerned things of the dunya, when a person has somewhat, when fame comes, then and the person becomes famous, they find that the critique of people come even more, and even they're more harsher in their criticism, and more. So become more intense. When a person has fame regarding criticism, everything you do, because they say, become under the microscope because of the fame. So a person of the age can manage this. And as I said, so anything that you do, whether it is something which is good or bad, is magnified. So with fame, know that with fame it comes where everything now will be put to the public. So even a person regarding fame, in most cases, the person, he puts things to the public to gain that attention. But then you find that people, they understand that things will come to the public attention, things that you don't want. And that becomes a problem. That becomes the problem. So can someone to the person can say, so not try to gravitate towards fame, not to haste to achieve fame. And as we see that, and you find different cases, we'll find that people kind of somewhat that they kind of somewhat earn something that they seek of this fame. They didn't work to their advantage soon after. It didn't work to their advantage soon after. So you find that in today's climate, or you find that even concerning things of matter relating to ad-dawah, matter regarding Islamic matters, regarding ad-dawah ila Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or you find that fame, when it comes into it, it becomes problematic. It becomes problematic. We find that certain people are said to be du'at, but they get into things which is seem as if more they're trying to draw attention to themselves than the message, and pay less attention to the message that they're trying to put out regarding concern the content of that message. Also, is it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So it usually come where it comes with serious consequence. It comes with serious consequence, and with fame it comes with kibr. That sometimes you find a person who become famous, that become one who become arrogant. So general concern that you find that this matter regarding fame, for the person to be mindful of this. Then third of those matters regarding the thing that that people gravitate towards, but one try to be mindful of those matters. We say things regarding amongst us as Muslims regarding matters regarding, or more concerned matters regarding a deen matter, or more diniya. But regarding concern matters regarding concern say diniya in the areas regarding matters regarding al-ilm. So matters regarding the deen, of those things to be mindful of regarding matters regarding ilm, that claim of ilm and putting one forward regarding a person of ilm, and even going so matter relating to ilm, to be careful that a person seeking of ilm has said to achieve other things, their own personal things. So using ilm, so this person using the deen as a way to achieve certain things, by either through way of ilm, claiming of ilm, and you'll find this a lot today. Also regarding by way of infaq, that people are given in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as claimed. Also regarding in the areas concerning a jihad, in the matter regarding a jihad fi sabilillah. So fighting, so you find that in these areas, and also concerning the person's amal, people concerning their deeds. So in those areas, we find that people in matters of, in the name of deen, that you have to be careful regarding these areas. Matters regarding ilm that one claim to have, regarding in fact for those people may be wealthy, for the person regarding al-jihad, fighting the cause of Allah to defend the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also regarding al-amal, the person as to how we act according to the deen and what we ascribe to Islam and what we do in representing Islam. So those are things that to be mindful of. So regarding concern, at times you'll find that regarding matters regarding these matters, you find especially in today's time that is the matter regarding al-ilm, a lot of claim towards a lot of people try to claim ownership of ilm, a lot of ownership regarding of ilm, and sometimes a person who's not qualified that to claim ownership of ilm, he use tazkiyah. With me? Tazkiyah in English? Recommendations. You understand? So the person that you might find a person who less in ilm, that he use more tazkiyah. This shaykh praise me. This shaykh gave me a tazkiyah. You understand? That's not ilm per se. A shaykh praising you, that per se, that's not ilm. Nam? So the ilm is what you're able to can deliver. That's the ilm. What you have gained and what you can deliver. That's the ilm. As for the tazkiyah, it is another matter. But a person who the person who have less of ilm, that they try to somewhat to gain this authority by saying, by mentioning the name of the man that the people that they attach to. I'm attached to Sheikh Fulan and Sheikh Alan, Nam. So as I said, not kind of somewhat to divert the attention from themselves, which is what you have. What is it that you got? What do you see from that Sheikh? So you have those things and those matters that one has to be mindful of regarding concerning with the people of those things that can be problematic regarding Bismi ad-Din. Then also those matters regarding things regarding Mata' ad-Dunya, things regarding ad-Dunyawiyya, which is regarding in the area concerning malabis. We compete with the people regarding malabis, that was fashion, which we call it these labels, that be mindful of this. Also regarding how I eat, how I drink, my crib, my house, my car, in these things, and also matters regarding, so those things the person has to be mindful of. As they say, keeping up with the Jones. As they say, keeping up with the Jones. So the Muslim regarding concerning these matters of the dunya, per se, not trying to keep up with the Jones. So I said with Zuhd, stay within your boundaries, within that which is halal. And that which you, Zuhd, what that which you need, not that which you want. So of those things regarding concerning the people that competing with the people regarding things of the dunya, regarding the type of clothing, the type of what I eat, what I drink, the type of ride that I have, the type of house that I live in. You understand? Which in today's society, I said that they can somewhat use the way to so-called measure success. The type of these things. But so as Zuhd fima inda nas, they can somewhat you take what you need and leave the rest for the people and leave the rest for others. Also in the area concerning in the area of mal wal banin, in the area of wealth and children, your progeny. You want to have a lot of kids, but you can't manage them. You can't afford them. You want to have wealth, so you want to achieve wealth, as I say, through any means necessary. Just as to say you have wealth. So of those things, regarding they compete with the people on those things, they find that people they compete naturally on those things. So as for the Muslim to kind of somewhat try to say to avoid being excessive in those areas, That so those are those areas, some of the areas regarding that concerning az-Zuhd fima inda nas, that for the person to be careful of those areas. Riyasa, shuhra, umur ad-din, in certain areas, as we mentioned, things of ad-dunya and also al-mal and the likes, to be mindful regarding those areas. So that's concerning that the second sentence they mentioned, if the person is a minority in those areas, then you find that people will see you as not some that the people will more accept you based upon certain principles. People who are principled, These are people who are principled, will accept you. And it mentioned the people who love you, as you see, they're not seeing you as a person who's competing with them. They don't see you as an adversary. So that's concerning those matters that they mentioned. So, and as we have mentioned, that Zuhd, also mentioned Zuhd and Mubtada'. So we have mentioned Zuhd, which is, as we had described before, the correct and the proper way of practicing of Zuhd. And you find I've said it's the way of the ulama and also the way of the Ahl-Salah. Regarding concerning Zuhd, it's a more common practice amongst those of the ulama, people of ilm, and also second, people of salah. People that may not be a people of knowledge, but they're people who are righteous and people who are once good, that they can somewhat try to practice as Zuhd. So you find we mention people who are said to be of the righteous people, that these are qualities that they normally mention with them. So they usually mention these qualities that they're known for, and also people of ilm. I would say that this practice is still present today among some of the ulama regarding Zuhd. Then we have the Zuhd. So we have the correct Zuhd that we had mentioned before. Then you have the Zuhd in the matters regarding al-bid'iyya. Zuhd al-bid'iyya. So Zuhd, we consider the person not going over the board or doing things that is not to be done. Doing things. So with a person now in the Zuhd of the dunya, that they have mentioned regarding that this fall regarding the Zuhd, takassub, things regarding the person, regarding gaining of wealth or earnings. You have the Zuhd in al-bid'iyya, where a person avoid this completely. So regarding Zuhd al-bid'iyya, regarding concerning the person trying to have a way, a means to survive and to live, of gaining some type of sustenance, the person leaves this completely. Tawakkal Allah in everything. Naam, so that's Zuhd al-bid'iyya. Then they have Zuhd, they mentioned regarding talabat al-ilm. So Zuhd fi talabat al-ilm, where the person has now have ilm, that also this is left aside completely. That the person have no interest in seeking of knowledge. And also they mention Zuhd fi tazawwuj, in zawaj. So Zuhd was the persons want to have, as I said now, want to just be married all the time to 4 wives. So always be involved in marriage, but he doesn't want to work. Then, and also if you have wives, then you have children, and if you're not working, are you going to provide for them? Also the person have no ilm, not interest in ilm. And also you find that so of these things they mentioned, and that they mentioned that now is the way of the Tasawwuf. That Tasawwuf, that they want the woman, but they don't want the ilm, and they don't want to work. So they want certain things, but they don't want to do certain things. So regarding concerning Zuhd al-bid'iyya, it comes in regarding concerning things regarding earnings, seeking of knowledge, regarding relationship. Regarding relationship. So those are things they mess up in those areas. They can somewhat, they fall short. They fall short and have a misunderstanding regarding those areas. So as for what is mentioned, that as a general fawaid of the hadith, so in mention a general fawaid of the hadith, that they stated regarding the first of those fawaid of the hadith, that one regarding the Sahaba asking or posing certain questions to the Prophet ﷺ on matters regarding, they said, matters of interest to them that will bring them closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are matters that are asked question, pose question, either get clarity on a matter regarding a ruling on a matter, and even more so, things that they can do to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a lot of questions they ask is things that they can do, practical things that they can do so as to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of the Mashaykh who have mentioned regarding concerning that in our time you'll find that most of our questions regarding al-hukum. We just want to know the rulings. Not necessarily we want to know, that we don't ask questions to ask what are the practical things that we can do to better ourselves. Our question is mainly surrounds what? What's the hukum on that? What's the hukum on that? Now, I just want to know what is halal, what is haram. But as for wanting to say, what are things that I can do to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Those are questions. We say we ask those questions less, as it requires for us to do things. And knowing the hukum may not necessarily the person have to do something. He just knows something, he has some information. But the Sahaba, that their questions are more so regarding things that they can, practical things that they can do to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So either things that they want to know that they can do, or things that they can avoid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's wrath. Then also they mentioned, so also it shows regarding that question that being asked, that the person should think about the question and make it something which is mufid. That the question being asked, that it is something that will be of benefit. Not asking things for the sake of that are things that there's it's not something which is of more, say, maybe of a question could be asked, but there's nothing that really comes from it. It has no substance. It has no real substance. But a question that asked, but there's no substance. So to avoid those type of questions, so for the person to think about the question before it is asked, and also to see what's this, what benefit, what real benefit will come from asking this question. In any form, hypothetical or those type, a person that a person asks when, so any form of those type of question that, so that if it's not going to be something which is beneficial, to the person, especially concerning the person asking for you, first and foremost, or those around you, either for you or those around you. As for asking a question about some people in the next country, distance away from you, then there's no, what's the substance of that question? So things that will be a benefit to the person or those in his immediate environment. Then also, the person asking, for example, discussing about praying on top of the Kaaba. What's the hukum on praying on top? Which direction do I pray if I'm on top of the Kaaba? When you get there, ask. When you reach on top of the Kaaba, then ask those who are below you. So a certain question could be a question to be discussed, but what's the substance, the real substance and practicality of that question? If I go to the moon and we call it spaceship, which direction do I pray? When you get there, or before you go there, when you book your ticket, then ask then. When you book your ticket and it is confirmed you're going to go to space or off the earth, then you can ask that question. So it's question that is being asked. So you find out the ulama, for example, I mentioned that concern that of the ulama, I said, al-Rahi, that you suppose that these type of questions, if you were to do so, if those to occur, hypothetical questions. So the ulama they dislike this. And I said, no, practical questions, practical, real questions. Then of the benefit of the hadith that is mentioned, that as for the one who is now giving the answer, so the person, the questioner, then as for the one giving the answer, the Prophet ﷺ regarding questions that are posed to him, that he will give different answer depending on the person. So depending on the person, that you give the answer that is more appropriate to the person who's the questioner. So it's to giving an answer for the person that somewhat to assess the question, assess the question and see what is best for them. What is best for them. So the Prophet ﷺ regarding his question, you find he gives different answers based upon the questioner. So that says that so of those things to the person who is giving an answer, and also even the person, the teacher, that give information that will be suitable to the people that are present, or within the reach of those that are present. So it's important not to give answers to the person that is far beyond him, or put things on him that is beyond him. So a person, for example, might ask, with something like question asked all the time, Sheikh, can you recommend some books for me to study? Well, the Sheikh don't know that, have that relation with the person. So you're going to give basic information, basic books. You're going to give basic book. Because number one, it said, unless you know the person is level of being a talib, You don't know is that. So how to assess the person? Just give a basic, just give certain basic books that are given, because you don't know the person hal fully. Is he an advanced student? Is he a beginner student? Is he a what level student is? You don't know. So if the person doesn't know, you can say just give you certain thing which is the basics, the basic answer. This. So then also the question that was asked regarding concern of, and also the Prophet kind of somewhat. So the person asked his question, the Prophet Islam then kind of somewhat he mentioned regarding direct the person towards those things that will get him close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love. So they mentioned from Bab of Aqadiyya that it kind of somewhat it proves sifat mahabba lillah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is described with mahabba. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he loves of his servants and loves certain things. So certain things is beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding actions and deeds and also individuals. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the believers. So you find that with this, it proves regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being described with mahabba. And I mentioned regarding concern this matter regarding mahabbatullah, regarding concern Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love, then a person that anyone can make the claim of loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is, so anyone can make this claim. But the real test, so I said, that's not the real test. You claiming you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anyone can make that claim. But the real test is, does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you? Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us? That's the thing that no one knows. So there's thing regarding to the person. So the real test is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loving us. Not the big, so the thing that we shouldn't per se become carried away with is claiming that we all love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then, so either you have one, signs that are indicated that you're sincere or you're genuine regarding your claim. You love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What are signs that can legitimize your claim, can validate your claim? So of those things that can be signs to validate a person's claim, that we see it in a person that is a believer and living by the Sharia. That a person is a believer and living by the Sharia. Then that's a positive sign. That's a positive person. I love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but he's not praying, not fasting, not doing the things of Islam. So okay. So the important thing is that the person who claims love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he has to do things to validate his claim. And also that the real test is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he loves us. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he loves us. Then also they mentioned regarding of these benefits, that also regarding that there's a method, a way to achieve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love. So there's a method. So there's a method in achieving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love. So it mentioned regarding concern that the person have a Zuhd. So of a practicing of Zuhd is of those things that will bring about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love. So practicing of Zuhd will bring about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love for that servant. Then also regarding things of the dunya. Regarding things of the dunya. So as for things of the akhirah, the person sa'ri'u. So the person regarding things of the dunya, the person that he put much effort. Regarding things of the dunya, the person put much effort. Regarding things of the wajibat, he owed to them. The things of the sunnah, the person put effort. But as for Zuhd, is regarding things of the dunya. So said those things which is mubah, those things which is halal of the dunya, not things concerning that things of deen, ta'abbud, not things of ta'abbud, but things of the dunya. Then a person has Zuhd in those matters. But he takes of what? He takes of what he needs. Then after the benefit I mentioned regarding the hadith, that it proves that from the hadith also should concern a Muslim that he put effort in trying to achieve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love. That a Muslim that he put effort in to seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love, as we mentioned, in things of doing the thing which is wajib, or the things of ta'abbud, and also that he take what he needs of the things of the dunya. Then I mentioned a Zuhd with what is with the people, as we discussed regarding that the person regarding us now that of those things, not to compete with the people regarding those things that they gravitate towards and desires a lot. So the person can somewhat know to navigate regarding those things that he has to kind of somewhat be mindful of regarding these are the things that many gravitate towards and desire, that he restrict himself on those matters. So it mentions that's concerning of those matters regarding, and that will gain the person said, that if the people see as not a threat to them, then they'll give you that love. They'll give you that love. So it also said that with this also we're going to Asa. So those are the things that they mentioned regarding of those things that have the benefit. So they mentioned regarding terms of the general overall benefit, said one, akadiyah, those fawaid akadiyah, regarding it proves regarding that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being described with mahabba, and also the person that he tries to put effort regarding seeking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love, and that will require the person doing those things which is ta'abbudiyah, carnal act, which is worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and putting effort in this. And with this, then he will achieve ways of achieving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the primary goal is entering Jannah. So for those things that the person carry a thing which is beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the reward for this in the akhirah is the person reward with a Jannah. Then also they mention of some of the fawahid, which is then also of those things that they mention tarbawiyah wa da'wiyah, regarding concerning tarbawiyah, things of da'wiyah, of those things regarding that the person tried to avoid excessiveness regarding things, or of take what he needs without excess regarding things of the dunya. So the person, as I saw, the person regarding his own tarbiyah, his own cultivation, that a person avoid those things that not being excessive regarding things of the dunya. So regarding one's own tarbiyah, that one avoid excess regarding things of the dunya, and trying to say, keep up with the Jones, as they say, keep up with the Jones, as they say. And also that, and also to compete with the people regarding things of the dunya. Compete with the people with things regarding things of the dunya, where that becomes like you're going against the people. You're going against the people. And also regarding concern a person, the da'i, that as we mentioned, that also for him to also have a balanced way regarding how we approach things of the dunya, and also how he deals with the people. That for the da'i, that he has a balanced approach regarding things of the dunya, and also how he deals with the people. And achieving concern for the person to achieve some of these things require ilm. For the person, somewhat to have regarding a Zuhd, to know concerning that the person that requires al-ilm. So a Zuhd, for it to be done correctly, then a person also has to have ilm. To know concerning, to know what are those boundaries that the person have ilm. And as we had mentioned regarding things of the dunya, that you avoid those things regarding al-riyasa, leadership, certain type of wadha'if, and getting a thing unjustly and unfairly, also a shuhra, fame and glory, that not to desire of those things, and how to manage those things. So you might find a person that it may come shuhra, a person might become famous, and so the person has to know if it does come his way, how to manage it. How to manage it. And also regarding concern of things of shuhra, regarding concern that that a person may be, that something you find that shuhra, being famous, doesn't mean that you're the best at that thing. Being famous doesn't necessarily mean that you're the best of that thing. You're the best person in that particular field or that thing. Then they were mentioned regarding things regarding doing things in the name of deen, and also things regarding things of the dunya, and also al-mal wal-baneen, that to approach those things in a measured way. To approach those things in a measured way. So that inshallah ta'ala, that these are some of the general benefits that can be taken from this hadith. So mentioned that this being the 31st hadith in this series by referred to as Arba'in and Nawawiyah. This is the 31st hadith, and this hadith, that the topic of this hadith regarding Zuhd, that a person has somewhat tried to have a balanced approach regarding things of the dunya, and also a balanced approach regarding the people. So that inshallah ta'ala will end this, the lecture will end today, and inshallah ta'ala, so as for next week, we'll be off. So for next week, we'll be off and return the week after, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So that inshallah ta'ala will end, wa billahi ta'ala tawfiq, wa hadi as-sabil. أيوة